healthy work environment is essential to maximum productivity. I apologize for any disruptions that my work might cause you. Remember to conserve power at every opportunity.
Synth unit, you were scheduled for maintenance duty at SRB. Anything you'd like to report?
Nothing to report, sir. I carried out my duties, as usual.
Dr. Ao saw you accessing a terminal. You know you are not permitted to access terminals in that section. Is Dr. Ao mistaken?
Yes, I mean, no,
Hey,
he's not.
it's me.
But I was only...
So you're the one who sent the encrypted message. How did you even do that? I wasn't sure anyone on the surface would have
But
a
I
chance to
swear
crack
it's
Trinity.
not what it
You
sounds
know,
like.
the
I
encryption
was
algorithm.
cleaning the terminal, and it switched on by mistake. I was just shutting it down.
A friend named Tinker Tom cracked your encryption.
He must have had some serious hardware to pull that off. Wow, your message was only one word. Friend. What did you mean by that?
You don't want me to tell you twice. Now get
Is that what it said? The railroad didn't bother telling me.
What? The railroad? As in the railroad? I kept sending synths to the surface hoping someone would help them. I hoped the railroad got to some of them, but I never knew for certain.
You saved a lot of synths.
So much to take in. But wait, with you in the picture, I have this idea. To rescue a lot of synths. At once. But we'll need help. Where's he working now? Right. Let's go to the West Atrium. Probably best to talk about something else right now. You know my father thinks it's a living hell on the surface. But that can't be right. Heck, you look positively normal to me. No offense. I'm not sure if we could ever make the surface actually a decent place to live. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't at least try to help, you know?
Operating at full capacity.
Excuse me.
Nothing to report, sir.
Good. He's here. C-114. It's me.
Sir, do you require something?
It's okay, Z1. He's a friend. He's with the railroad.
Meeting here is dangerous. And you bring a stranger. How do I know we can trust you?
Something about disappearing synths, I think.
Because the members of the railroad have dedicated their lives to fight for your freedom.
I thought only Mr. Benet cared. But your friends actually fight for us?
That's what the railroad does, Z1. He's from the surface.
I've never met another human willing to help. But, sir, we must make this quick.
Right now, how many synths want to escape, Z1?
The ones I know for certain, 13.
That'll take forever. Let's free those 13 all in one go.
I would do anything for my people. But how do we get them to the teleporter? It's no good. The old maintenance tunnels that lead there are always sealed. By the SRB.
If I can find a way to open those doors, could you get your synths to the teleporter room?
Yes. We'll talk later. Someplace more secure.
Liam,
Just a few high-security doors, right? Controlled by cutting-edge SRB security tech. Yeah. A head-on hack is the sucker play. so we go at them sideways. You're willing to help, right? I can't do this alone.
It depends on what you need.
Our core security architecture hasn't fundamentally changed from the old CIT days. The original security program was called Code Defender. Revolutionary stuff. We still have terminals running version 1, mothballed in storage. With some persuasion, I can get an old terminal to interface with the new security terminals. Enough to open doors, at least. Problem is, I can't even crack version 1. So I need a good old-fashioned username and a password. And that's nowhere to be found in the Institute. But if you could get me a pre-war admin password from the surface, I could log right in.
Where would I find that?
Unfortunately, I don't know. The obvious place won't work. The CIT ruins were picked clean years ago, but some of the admins had to live off campus. Ask your friends in the railroad. I need those login credentials.
Half of you know this already, but something so big. I can't ask people to keep it secret any longer. The rumor is true. One of our agents has made it inside the Institute.
Is this what Tinker Tom was working on?
Yes, Tom's work is related, but the device and the assembly was the Wanderer's doing. After the device was assembled, he made it inside the Institute, and then back out.
Where is the Institute?
We're not sure exactly. Best guess is that it's somewhere under the old CIT. But they've been using a teleportation device to get in and out, so it could be anywhere.
What did he find out?
I know you all have questions, but I've said everything I'm going to. But know this, the ops you're planning and running now are the most important of our lives. We have a chance at rescuing more synths than we ever dreamed of. So get it done. Have you met with Patriot yet?
I met Patriot. His name is Liam Benet.
I knew you'd get the job done. We need every scrap of intel you picked up in there. Write up a full report on Pam's terminal. After you're done, we'll analyze it and figure out the next step. Get to it.
Hey, it's Bullseye. Bullseye's back.
Confirming present.
Pam wants to talk with you. She's in back.
Pam.
Preliminary analysis complete.
Anything we need to move on?
Affirmative. Codename Patriot requires admin credentials for Code Defender security software. Cross-indexing CIT security administrators with 2077 Commonwealth Census records. Filtering by surviving structures. One match found. Bergman, Wilfred, Bergman, Wilfred.
What's at Cambridge Polymer?
Cambridge Polymer Labs. The region is currently clear.
Right.
After you get the password Excellent work. On our side, we've gone through our final If we stage a mass breakout, Patriots 13... Instead, we use...
Too risky. We should save those 13 while we can.
We do that, and we'd no longer be a gnat buzzing in the Institute's ear, but a real threat. I will not save 13 synths and then condemn an entire people. The Institute will never let their slaves go without a fight. So the heart of our problem is manpower. Even if we call in all our agents, and we will, we won't be able to hold our own against the Institute for long. Talk with C-114. If the synths down there want freedom, they must fight and risk their lives to earn it.
Even with synth allies, is that enough to fight the Institute?
The synths greatly outnumber the scientists. If enough of them rebel, the chaos would be unprecedented. Then we use that turmoil to evacuate everyone we can. It will work, because it must. As much as we owe Patriot, we can't be certain how committed he is. If he learns we're willing to kill to free synths, he may not have the stomach for it. So get what you need from him and then cut him loose. Good luck. We're all with you.
Pam... wants you. She explained why, but...
It must make you proud to see all that Father has done, all that he has built.
Liam, I got your username and password.
You railroad guys really deliver, you know? Hooking that ancient tech, so hand it over.
This is a delicate operation. Are you okay if we have to use violence?
Why do you ask? There are stories about the railroad, that you're extremists. If I get even a hint that you're planning on hurting people, I'll pull the plug myself.
This...
Why do you ask?
This...
Why do you ask?
This...
Good question. If we find ourselves in that position, we pull the plug and wait for another opportunity. We can't risk anyone's life over this.
Here you go.
Great. Listen, I need a favor. Z-114 is working the atrium again. Can you give him an update?
We must speak quickly. We cannot risk being discovered. I have made arrangements, but tell me, Do you think Mr. Benet's plan will work?
You having second thoughts?
I'd risk anything for my people. It's just that Mr. Benet is many things, but he isn't always the most practical. And this plan is very risky.
A better plan is to use this opportunity to rescue everyone. But Synths will have to fight for it.
And I thought Mr. Benet's plan was too ambitious. Of course, I'd fight for my freedom. And I know of a few others that might as well. But enough to face all the guards? Yes. Even if most don't join the fight. But we should be prepared for some of this.
All people want to be free. They just need the opportunity to take it.
If the Railroad inspires everyone like you do, the SRB is wise to fear you. You will give my people an opportunity, and they will flock to us. I admire Mr. Benet a great deal. We can't tell him about this plan. It's his people we'll be fighting. I will talk to my friends. Meet me here tomorrow. If I don't make our appointment, assume the worst. I asked my friends if they'd take up arms for their freedom. I was surprised at the number of volunteers. Perhaps once the fighting begins, many others will join us. But we will fight and die very quickly unless we have weapons. A lot of them. Given the right materials, we can make our own crude but serviceable weapons.
I have weapons I can give you.
Excellent. Deposit anything you can spare in maintenance, so the ingredients are...
This...
Why do you ask?
Pam needs you in her room.
Sometimes
I got the Code Defender password for Patriot.
Excellent work. On our side, we've gone through your report. It was
Uh-huh.
our final analysis indicates the Institute is far more formidable than we ever. If we stage a mass breakout, Patriot's 13 synths will instead we use this one chance to rescue all the synths.
Too risky. We should save those 13 while we can.
We do that, and we'd no longer be a gnat buzzing in the Institute's ear.
Good evening.
I asked my friends if they'd take up arms for their freedom.
Mhm.
I was...
Ah.
But, given the right material...
I have weapons I can give you.
Excellent. So the ingredient...
Right. What ingredients?
Gunpowder, laser focusing crystals, and a couple other things.
Couldn't we just steal some weapons?
All munitions are tightly guarded by the SRB. Even if we managed to take some, it would certainly be noticed. And surprise is essential to everything.
Go on.
The Institute's always expanding. Excavation just completed on one of the sublevels. The mining equipment has been packed into crates, and they haven't been moved yet. That equipment has everything we need. Thanks to Mr.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about killing some guards?
I'll do it, if it's necessary.
We could come up with no other way. After you eliminate the guards, we'll move the supplies and blow up the tunnels behind us. To the SRB, it will be a tragic construction accident that killed many synths. Rare, but not unheard of. And then, our dead friends can assemble the weapons we need. Good luck.
The latest synth generation is just amazing. Those guys in robotics are working miracles. Liam's been trying to teach me robotics.
Scanning unknown identity. Clearance confirmed.
Nothing to report, sir. Operating at full capacity. All systems nominal. Subject identified. Subject identified. Me to terminate you in self-defense.
Please direct all inquiries to G981.
Leave now. Soon, this will all be under rubble. Remember Z1's plan, everyone. Grab everything we can use.
Nice work bringing that rogue synth back.
You have done your part, and we'll do ours. Weapon construction will begin immediately.
Any news about Liam?
Liam's got his terminal working. When the time is right, we have someone who can operate it. I'll stall Liam as long as I can, but he's anxious to proceed with the old plan. You should avoid him if you can. If he had any idea what we're up to, I fear he'd report us.
Have any problems?
There's been no alarm. My friends have all the time they need to get what they want, then cover their tracks.
Get those weapons made quickly.
We will. Every hour we wait is another hour the SRB could discover us. For now, please continue working with Father. We can't afford for him to grow suspicious. When my people are ready, I will contact you.
Movement detected. Curious. Attacking enemy.
You hit like a railroad!
Upper limb actuator damaged. Assessment. You must die. A regrettable occurrence. Greetings, sir. Reporting status. All functions normal.
Yes. Sean.
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
It's not so bad, really. People manage.
Perhaps. But at a cost too great to be worth it. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
Why refreeze me?
As a failsafe, of course. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
So it was you. You let me out.
Yes. It was my decision. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. I had no idea what kind of man you were, you see. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you, as it has everything else? Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me? And now I know the answer.
That's all this is to you? All I am to you? Just another experiment?
No, that's not all. But still, I'm glad it turned out the way it did. Soon, I hope you'll understand. Everything I've done has been for the future. A future which I hope is not in jeopardy after recent events. Bunker Hill did not go well for us. Would you care to explain what happened?
We were totally ambushed. They were waiting for us.
You can imagine that I find that very hard to believe, given that all the intelligence leading up to this indicated we'd taken them by surprise. Bunker Hill was to cement your place as a valuable asset to the Institute. It will now only raise suspicions. And to see the Brotherhood of Steel involved in this? They had no way of knowing what was going on. I will refrain from sharing the outcome with the Directorate for the moment. Things are already in motion that this would only derail. Speaking of which, it's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful.
It's been a pleasure to meet you.
I know that suit. You're one of those people who lives underground.
From what I hear, that rogue synth at Libertalia was a real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
Son. Let's get this Directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's important. Let's get this Directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's important. Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is he doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ao has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the increased activity around Fort Independence, but there are no immediate signs we should be concerned. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Excuse me, but, sir, are you sure this is, well, the proper time to be discussing that? Considering, I mean, given all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
What's Phase 3?
It's very important to us. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real, tangible power. The kind that keeps the lights on. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
What kind of compromises?
We have at times had to rely on drawing power from above-ground installations. It risks personnel and equipment, but no longer. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Can you tell me more about this reactor?
Certainly. It was originally built for the Commonwealth Institute of Technology before the war, but was only for testing. Over the years, we've advanced the technology, made a great many improvements, and are finally nearly ready to activate it. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us. Thus, we come to Phase 3, and to how you will help.
Sir.
Yes, Dr. Ayo. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone. While I'm not overly fond of putting my own father in harm's way, he has proven more than capable of handling himself.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please, as I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
No! You can't be serious!
Everyone, please. I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
This can't be happening. I only just found you.
I've had the same thoughts more than a few times. But we cannot let this stop us. Our work must continue. We can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my father as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really?
How can you possibly justify this? He isn't one of us. He isn't even a scientist.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my father has already proven himself more than capable in that regard. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
Humanity's future is taking root right here.
Our technology must seem pretty advanced by your standards.
I had no idea.
I know this is... well, it's a lot to take in at once. I'm sorry, Father. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
What would it mean to be in charge?
Most divisions of the Institute are fairly autonomous. perfectly capable of functioning without intervention. Where those divisions interact, however, problems can arise. You'd lead the Directorate in setting policy, resolving disputes, and the like. There's no question that some of the Directorate and the Institute at large will need reassurances about your appointment. That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. Dr. Fillmore can fill you in on the details. There are hard decisions ahead, for all of us, but for you especially. I know that you'll do the right thing.
We don't usually welcome outsiders. I hope you can appreciate your good fortune.
Allie.
Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation, I'm told.
I need some details here. I have no idea what I'm getting into.
Of course, that's why we're talking. Otherwise, you'd be up top already. Recent events have upset our timetable. Getting the reactor online has become our #1 priority. It needs to be running, well, yesterday. We're going to have to cut some corners. I'm not thrilled, but it means we'll need to rely on some pre-war tech. You're going to the Mass Fusion building to acquire a beryllium agitator for us.
What's a beryllium agitator?
The details would be lost on you. No offense. The point is, it'll allow us to boost the reactor's power and get it running sooner than planned. You just keep me safe. I'll worry about the agitator.
Is that really necessary? I'm sure I can handle this by myself.
Yes, it really is. Not only is this tech sensitive, it's old. Look, I'll take care of it. You just make sure I come back in one piece.
No way. You're not going. You'd be a liability.
Well, that's about the most insulting thing I've heard in a while. Okay, you're on your own then. Good luck. Not to put more pressure on you, but we have to move quickly. We don't want them getting the agitator. Head on up to the
Higgs and Logan have officially lost their minds. They'll be lucky not to be exiled.
Charging into a situation, Josh.
Hold up, Knight. Knight?
Excuse me, Captain Kells?
As I was saying, Knight, the Brotherhood has been monitoring the Commonwealth for some time. We've dispatched a number of reconnaissance teams. The previous team was
I'm sorry.
You're sorry? Then they knew the risk. Your orders are to search for the missing recon.
It's been 3 years. They could be anywhere by now.
Their insertion point was in the hills near Malden. Survey. Monitor your rate. Acquire a signal. That's all, Knight.
Proctor Ingram, the Institute wants me to get something called a beryllium agitator from the ruins of mass fusion.
A beryllium agitator? I seem to remember reading an old technical document on those once, but I only thought they were theoretical. It must be pretty darn important if they're sending you to find one. You know, if we head over to mass fusion right now, we may be able to get the device before the Institute does. That's if you don't mind a little company, of course.
Why would you want to go?
Are you kidding me? Mass fusion was on the cutting edge of atomic technology. And considering there hasn't been much in the way of engineering advancements lately, that makes it a goddamn gold mine. I'm not gonna miss an opportunity like that.
It would be helpful if you tagged along.
I knew you'd see it my way. Grab whatever gear you need and meet me on the flight deck. This could be our best chance at beating.
Find me the technical documents. You should bring them to Project Windman for analysis.
It's a tough-looking dog. I bet he's handy in a fight.
Roger that, Scabbard. We have clearance for release. You might want to hang on, sir. The drop can be a little rough.
Never could get used to flying in these things.
Hostile target sighted on the roof, sir. Prepare to engage.
Damn synths are crawling on. Over the place. Send them out before we drop.
Proctor Ingram?
Amazing that this tower's still standing.
Have to find the
Down
card.
that way. Looks like the elevator needs some kind of a key card. See the agitator anywhere. It must have been moved. Let's check out that terminal over there.
There are rumors circulating that the Institute was somehow involved. Now, I know they come up every time something bad or unexplained happens. But in this case, even I have to admit, it's hard to not suspect they were involved. Don't jump to conclusions, but keep your wits about you, folks. And don't worry. At this time, there's no suspect out there. City is in danger. Just sit back and enjoy small.
Yes.
Ella knows not every day can be perfect. Here's into each life of some
Proctor.
Oh, I could spend years looking at the tech in this place, but we've still got work to do.
That's it. No use, not without a card.
Now we can get that elevator running.
Going down.
Excuse me, Proctor Ingram.
This place has seen better days, that's for sure.
power to the elevators!
Someone new must be terminated. How interesting.
We could always drop through here. Might not be as cushy as an elevator, but at least we'll be headed in the right direction.
Sweet. That ought to do it.
There, that's done it. Power's back online.
Going down.
Commencing termination of organic life form.
What was that?
I must. Sensor reading detected. Overactive sensors. Movement detected. Curious.
Threat neutralized.
Proctor Ingram.
This building's a mess. I hope the agitator's still here.
Is someone present? I was in error. No movement detected. Curious. Hello. Would appear my target as